Welcome to another Exploring Consciousness with you at Nouveau Hub. And we've just gone through a very interesting eclipse, lots and lots of energies. And Tanya was just telling us about the last day of what was it? The last day of the Galactic, Tanya?
Yeah, this is the last day of the Galactic calendar, which is also based on the Mayan calendar. So it's a 260-day cycle of 13 tones, so energy numbers, and 20 glyphs, or sort of like archetypes. So now today is the yellow cosmic sun, the 1320, and tomorrow is the red magnetic dragon that starts the new cycle.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, thanks for that. So how is everyone doing? Is everyone slightly cooked from the energies? What did you guys do? Yeah, Jen. What happened? Tell us something interesting. Did something happen?
When I was out watching the eclipse, it was it's otherworldly to see like your full moon that dark anyway, with the red hue and the glow and the halo. I saw quite a few ships during the couple hours that I was outside. One of them like lit up in streaks, like 4 different streaks across the sky, which was the brightest that I have ever seen one. So I felt like there was a lot of communication taking place. Several power-ups. Like, I don't know if everybody watches for ships or if I'm just weird like that, but I was really surprised at how much communication I was getting during that. And I was really energized, like all day Monday. I'm usually very like in motion anyway, but I was like on fast forward fast all day Monday. And then it really hit me yesterday, just like that drain and energy. So.
Okay.
Are you sure there weren't airplanes you saw?
Definitely not airplanes. I did see some airplanes too, though.
Because I saw a lot of airplanes flew past by the moon when I was watching it.
Yeah, there were several airplanes as well.
I saw a couple of satellites as well.
Mm-hmm.
That it's overhead.
No, bright streak of light, and like it skipped 4 times across the sky was the brightest one. Really interesting.
Well, the light is streaming in like crazy, and you know, I had a friend over, so we were like 4 girls in the house, and that was quite intriguing in its own. You know, have 4 women in the household, and all very different, you know, archetypes and characters, and that was quite nice just to see the interaction. And on Monday we went to a meditation day. It wasn't just meditation, it was 1 hour healing, 1 hour EFT clearing, and then we had another healing session, and then we had a sound bath. So it was like for the whole day, I think it was about 15 people, and just, you know, spending the day in a very nice nature reserve to just, you know, nurture ourselves basically. And that was very nice. And then I had that was Monday, today's Wednesday. So Tuesday I did, you know, I do every week, I do a session with my mom on a distance. And remember, guys, Sean Beebe, he posted that light thunderbolt YouTube in Earth Nouveau. And I thought, okay, well, let me use this, and I made a meditation out of it. And I did that in the morning, and then I thought, you know, when it came to my mom's distance treatment, usually I do all sorts of moves and stuff, and this time I thought, now let me just do something different. Let me use this light that I've just, you know, written about, and let me be the conduit and the catalyst. So I laid myself on the couch, and I just invited the energy to come through me and then go through the entire lineage. And it was absolutely amazing. I was for 20 minutes flat out having downloads And as it is with those downloads, you want to know what they are. But, my eyes were going like this, my hands were going like this. It was like an integration kind of thing. But very, very interesting. So, and that I've never really had it that strong like I had it on that Tuesday. So that was my experience. And since then, I must say, I just, I feel very, I've got nobody in our house at the moment. So it's quite interesting to just adapt to the other energies at the moment. But it's quite calm and in receiving and observation mode. What about you, Herminia and Lana? What did you guys experience?
Well, for my point, I have been so sick with this allergy. I have not been able to talk really in this step in this energy. Really having like like a mobile, getting horrible in the morning and then getting a little better and then bad at night. I don't know, maybe because everybody complaining that this year having like a hot or I don't know, maybe it's cause of the same energy. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's mucus, that's a letting go. Any kind of liquid, streaming from the body is all good. It's all a letting go from a physical perspective. And I think, lots of people perceive the energies from a more emotional clearing perspective, and some perceive it more from a physical. I certainly am more affected by all of it from a physical perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's unique, like they said.
Yeah, exactly. So just let it flow out, let it come out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm.
Well,
For me, I've been sort of feeling the collective a bit. It's like, you're in a peaceful state, but all of a sudden you sort of feel the feeling of the collective, the pressure that the collective is feeling, because it's sort of like an uncertainty. They don't know what's going to happen, the next day or the next month, and it's sort of like at times a fluctuation of that feeling I've been getting lately. And sometimes if I'm not careful to check myself, it can make me feel a bit on the sad side, because I'm picking up on what's flying around in the in the whole atmosphere of things. But yesterday I went out and I worked in my garden a little bit, so that grounded me some again. So I was doing okay.
Good. But I think there's a lot of hype out there, and then, it's very easy to slip into self-judgment. Oh, I'm not feeling anything, or I'm not having this, I'm not having those experiences, and things like that. And I think one needs to really acknowledge for oneself that nothing has to happen at all. Yeah, it's just interesting when people share their stuff. I mean, look, like Tanya just showing us those beautiful flowers, and Lana talking about grounding herself in the garden and things like that. Just do whatever you're doing, whatever you enjoy doing. I mean, I have been I've been feeling just like I usually do my Kundalini meditation, a lot of physical movement and stuff. And the last couple of days was just like, oh, lie down, just lie down. And it's very quickly that, not even sitting up for anything, just lie down. And very quickly, it's almost like you go into a time warp, lie down and you think you're there for 5 minutes and you wake up. Oh, it's not that you sleep, you're pretty much aware of what's going on, but it's like shifting in and out of whatever that is, just feels a bit like that. And then you look on at the watch and it's like, oh, 30 minutes gone. What happened there just now, and then by all means, never go into judgment or, expectation, hesitation, any of that stuff. what is supposed to happen, whatever is supposed to happen, if nothing's supposed to happen, and that's exactly what is supposed to happen.
Yeah. You deal with whatever comes up in the moment, and you clear it away as quickly as you can.
Mm.
But I like that post that I saw on Abby's Facebook page a couple of days ago, and it says, let me see if I can pull it up. Sometimes the universe tests you the most when you are close to a new chapter.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I'm like, I read it and like, wow, that's probably what's happening.
Yeah.
We're being tested right now. So that was a really confirming post.
Yeah. So, and it's sometimes it's just a sentence, that brings you back. Okay, this is what's happening, and it's like, I think we talked about it last time. It's that, letting go of your identity. It's like a death process at times. And, and as you said, this being in the present moment, the future hasn't happened yet. And it's just absolutely no point to even go there and look at the moment, because we literally don't know what's going to happen. We just have to really remind ourselves we're here in service to the planet. We are in service. Actually, that's a really good, question to ask yourself, because is the universe here to serve us, or are we here to serve the universe?
Both.
Yeah, I think it's both, right?
It is both. And sometimes it's nice to just look at it from both sides of the coin. And just say, okay, well, if we're here to serve the universe, if we're here to serve the planet, the planet and the universe will have to tell us what it wants. Yeah, right. This is like, okay, then give us some ideas what we need to do. I think so often, we're just trying to make shit up, because we think we have to, all this doing. No, just sit back and allow things to evolve the way they want to.
Makes me
I
think
wanted
it's
to share. I want to share when I was watching the lunar eclipse the other night on Sunday night, and I was looking at the when it was total eclipse in that moment, and I was using my binoculars to get a closer view of the moon, and all of a sudden I had this very strange feeling as I was looking straight at the moon that I'm aware that the earth is blocking the sunlight from reaching the moon. But in that moment, I felt like I was the one blocking the sunlight reaching the moon, because I felt like I was in the center of it, and I am with the earth, and I am the one that is blocking the light from reaching the moon. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is really strange and weird all at the same time. But then again, it's really nice to get that perspective of being the one, like we're all one. So I felt that sudden oneness there for a very microscopic moment, and I was thinking about, well, there's the dark side of the moon, which seems to get no light, or at least that's what we're told. And now the side of the moon that gets the most light doesn't have any light, so the entire moon is all back and front, it's all dark in this moment. And I'm playing a part here in my own mind and perspective, that I am facilitating the sunlight from reaching the moon suddenly. I thought that was a really weird feeling, but it was a nice one.
I love that, Lana.
What?
I love that experience. I really have, the awareness, since I'm really working with like the portal of the heart and the way it aligns with the heart portal of the sun and the heart portal of the earth and the moon and the galactic center, that alignment, just that direct alignment of me and the earth and the sun and the moon, all just kind of layered over like that, was really, I think, opening. I think really, has allowed me to level up in a way.
I kind of did the heart meditation that you guided us through at the end of last week's call, Tanya.
Yeah.
During the totality of the eclipse, almost putting myself in the same mindset that Lana experienced herself with. So my heart and the earth and the moon and the galactic sun all went into alignment, and it really was a powerful meditation that I worked myself through while I was watching the eclipse.
Beautiful.
Fabulous.
Cool.
Going back to what you were saying, Martina, a couple of things that I thought of. When we are trying to improve our communication with someone, particularly like a partner or something, and you say, well, I can't read your mind, right? So when you were saying like that the universe has to tell us what it wants from us, made me think about like a squabble that you would have, like, I can't read your fucking mind, right? So the universe does need to tell us what it wants us to do if it expects any kind of results. And working with a friend on Saturday, we were painting, and she was struggling with manifesting money for herself, and this guilt that if she manifests for herself, that it's selfish. Well, there's nothing really service to self about manifestation if you are also working with service to others. And so for some reason that conversation came back up in my head when you were talking about that when we look at manifesting and really any of the objectives that we're setting for ourselves right now, not to get tripped up on service to self, because I hear that from a lot of people that they don't want to be selfish, but you're never going to better your situation if you're not focusing on yourself along with focusing on others. So what we do for the universe and what we do for us pairs into that.
Absolutely. And there's this energy of giving and receiving and the balance of it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything to do with money is usually, if you think of the currency, money is a currency, it's a current, it's a flow, and if the flow only goes in one direction, then obviously there is some issue with the receiving. Most of the time there is a receiving issue. This is a very simple little exercise one can do is, think of the currency, money as a currency. And what, if you think of currency, what kind of currency, what kind of current would come to mind?
Electricity.
Electricity, yeah. Or water, very often water. It's very often, it's a good metaphorical expression. So you can use water, and just what kind of water comes to mind? Is it a little paddle, or is it an ocean, or is it a lake, a stream? What would it be? Play with me, Jen, for a stream. Okay. And then as you look at the stream, where are you in comparison to that stream?
I would picture myself on one end of it, looking down at another end of it.
Mm-hmm. So, and then you can play with that, because some people, they can't, I remember when I did that exercise for the first time, I grew up next to the Danube in Austria, and I looked at that, and I was far, far away from the stream. And I said, whoa. And the stream was busy because it's got a current to it. It's flowing in one direction. And lots of the boats, when I used to go and paddle on it, I used to go against the current, because, you want to fight and all that, and the muscle power and everything, and then you got to look at this, if you perceive yourself in that stream and you're in this, are you going with the current? Are you going against the current? Are you even in the stream? Or are you far away? You don't want to get wet, that kind of thing, and just play with that currency or electricity, whatever, comes up for you as that. And that very often is related to receiving. Because money is just an exchange of anything. It's currency. And then, of course, money is hugely connected to the poverty line and the survival and to the fear and everything. And it is one of those tools, you know, the collective, the domination we have been using to keep ourselves small and limited. And a lot of that, you know, with the money disappearing and the cryptocurrency coming in and nobody knows what's going on, and, you know, everything is getting more expensive, and there's a lot of fear that's coming in at the moment with that we are perceiving, you know. And it doesn't, one of the things, like Lana says, is, you know, the question is it yours or is it somebody else's, you know? And then, of course, you know, when we have people talk to us about, it's always good to look in the mirror. I love the mirror. So is there still anything that I am not willing to receive?
Mm-hmm.
And then we just destroy and uncreate everything that we're not willing to receive. And of course, we can't just receive the positive. We have to receive everything without a point of view. And as we get into that non-judgment perspective and way of life, then we can have money. We can have as much money as we want to. And then we realize that actually we don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need more than we just need, you know, in order to live comfortably. On the other hand, you know, with people like who want to be of service, it's a great way, like you said, Jen, it's like, you know, how much more can you help other people if you want to, if you have money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's a huge energetic around money and non-receiving and giving and all of that.
You know, if you think about it, you can have a lot of money, and you were saying the Martina, what would you do, or how would you use your money to help others if you had a lot of money, right? But if you really think about it, you can have a lot of money and you would have that thought in mind that you want to help others who seem not to have any or much, or who only makes a couple dollars a day. But somehow the system has put things into place that would block the flow of that money getting to that individual or groups of people that, you know, could really use that extra flow of money or energy that, you know, in your heart you can give to that person or persons, you know. But the system has so many mechanisms in place that would be sure to cock block you from getting that money or energy flow to those who you can really help to make a difference for. Now, how do we get around or bypass or jump over or whatever, you know, to get that? That's the thing right now, eh? If you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with me when it comes to money and all of that, first of all, money is not, abundance has nothing to do with money, that kind of thing. That's one of the things to look at. The second thing for me is also the system that we are currently, that's on the way out, that we have created that. So that takes us back to free will and uncreating what we have created. So everything that we have been experiencing is part of what we have created through our distortion of free will gone awry. Yeah. And then, of course, it all comes down to choice at the end of the day. You know, it's like I'm not a big fan of giving money to people because I've done it many in the beginning of my journey, and it has not really created anything for the receivers of the money, because they spent it and then they came for more.
It perpetuates, their cycle of thinking that somebody else needs to give it to them instead of them bringing it to themselves. So I would agree with that completely.
It's not very empowering, and it just keeps the giver in an enabling sort of energy, and
the receiver almost in a situation of debt, like they're indebted to others.
Yeah. So yeah,
I like that, indebted to others, because when somebody gives something to you, are they clearing up some ancient contract with you by giving that value to you in that exchange, or is it a karma that is being resolved?
Yeah.
You know that when you start mentioning that, Jen, I was remember myself that I coming from a family that has a lot of lacks of money and because a lot of issues in, I don't know, when they're coming with us, they had a lot of opportunity to have money, but for some reason they have property, lands and stuff. And everything for some reason was lost from both sides. And then I have been working on that for more than almost 20 years, I think. Any case, I was remember that Andrew said that there's a lot of light worker that become like, homeless most of the time. And I saw myself over there because from 2011, 2010 to 2014, I was just like, with this program, I had to save the earth, I had to serve the planet, I have to serve humanity. And I put myself in a jeopardy that I even lost my condominium. I had to sell it also because I was just care about, do the work for the humanity. It was crazy. And when I see myself over there, I say, oh my goodness. I was traveling everywhere that everybody needs. All that crazy program that we had to save everybody except ourselves. And I pay a very high price on that one, but it's because the program that we have to save everybody and forget about us. And I just now is recovering after almost 10 years. And it's because we had that belief that we had to save everybody because we came here to save the planet. It's like, any case, I see myself in that position. I said, oh my goodness, it was a lot of crazy things that I did that I was not supposed to do because I had a program that I had to save everybody. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have that same experience, Herminia.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I've had that same experience where when I first started doing Reiki, I wanted to fix everyone. I can heal you. Look, I can heal you. But, in time, I had to realize that the only person that could heal you is you and me is me, right? So I can hold space for that. But, you got to do the work. I think that speaks to financial prosperity and abundance as well, right? If you're just stuck in that state of not being able to receive, especially for yourself, then the energy is not going to flow.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. I ended up sleeping in people's house because I was not able to support myself, and I was trying to save the world. Can you imagine that? That's how huge that program is. Oh my goodness. I laugh about that now because it was
and then that's a great way of looking at it, really, having a laugh about it, because also let's look at it. I mean, it's the old paradigm spirituality. It's like the misidentification what spirituality actually is supposed to be. It's like not understanding embodied spirituality. And with that, once you start understanding that you're not supposed to be leaving your body, that you're actually supposed to be staying and taking your body with you, integrating all your soul shards into this body, this timeline, this particular place, and you've got to start realizing, if that is the case, then I have to create an environment that my body is actually happy, And I think it goes back to all these discussions we've had in the last couple of years, that people, they have a body, but they don't actually understand that they are not the body. Just because you have a body, you're not the body. And the body has requirements, and the body has often requirements that we have no idea about because we don't actually ask, what does the body require? And this is one of those, communications outside the box. Body, what do you want? And most bodies do like some form of abundance, be this now nice food, nice clothes, a warm bed. I mean, my body doesn't want to sleep under a bridge. Absolutely not. Certainly not in this lifetime, not interested in that. And things like that. It doesn't need anything, out of the ordinary, to be honest. But I always say, I want to have as much money that I can't spend it. Just enough, or just, that I can't even spend it. And that means to me, so let's say, for instance, Jen says to me, oh, why don't you just pop over next week and, you know, I want to show you this or that. And say, okay, I can do that. Yeah, without having to think, oh, you know, can I afford the ticket, or can I do this or that, you know, that kind of thing. That for me is abundance with money, you know. Now I can do things that are just joyful. And the other thing is, you know, I'm not a big fan of this admin and looking at 5,000 different flights and get the cheapest one and la, la, la. And I don't need to fly business or anything like that. I just don't want the hassle. And that for me, that's why I like to have, you know, I like to receive enough so I can make those choices. And also the thing is, I have to say, I mean, I grew up very, very modestly, you know, and where I grew up, and we didn't have a toilet inside the house. We didn't have for many, many years. We didn't have, it was all outside, and we were 4 kids and all of that. But there was never a situation where a belief system would have been indoctrinated into us saying that we are poor. That my parents never did that. They had this capacity of making something out of nothing. And that's what I took on. You know, it wasn't about poverty or look at the others, they have more than us. It was never about that. And that has helped, you know, I suppose as well. But if it wouldn't have been the case, then I would have had to work that off as well. But, you know, look at know thyself. And this is actually quite interesting, because I picked a card today. I thought, okay, let's just see sacred sites.
Yeah, that was a big support from your parents, Martina, because I mean, you are sort that survival and make it and manifest it from then. I was in the opposite. My mother was saying the money is the cause of all evil, you know, and my father is completely Seventh-day Adventist, nothing about to do with money. I mean, it was like a wow. That's why I had to reprogram myself. I said, I'm worth it to spend $100 in a restaurant. I'm worth it to pay this $60 for these shoes. You know, I had to reprogram myself back all those, because that's what I was fitted. You know, it's very interesting how we become.
The one thing, you know, receiving has two sides. And the one is, not receiving at all. And often, which is a very nice way of looking at it, if we have been, most of us, because of our capacities, we have been force-fed. You know, look at force feeding, forced receiving, yeah? And with forced receiving, sometimes you get to that level of saturation. So, okay, that's it. I can't take any more, because we took on all the shit from everybody else. Yeah. And of course, our choice, but that comes from the wounding, you know, as the martyr, the enabler, the empath, whatever. And that forced receiving sometimes takes you to a limit where I can't receive anymore. And then you just go completely disconnect. So this is another one to look at, you know, if you have your chat again with your friend or something, is there an element of that? Then just pointing that out for her awareness, because then, okay, yeah, well, that's the case. And then, you know, you got to stop taking on everyone else's shit, so that you actually got some space left to receive what you really want to receive.
Absolutely.
So know thyself. This was the card that I pulled, and that's Delphi in Greece. And since we started off with that, so there's a little oh God, hold on a second. Hold on, guys.
Sorry there. My electricity just went out on me. It just went pop, and that was it. Everything shut down.
Okay. There's a little exercise in that. So let me read that for you guys and then see what that brings up for you. Know thyself. So this is all about knowing your wishes, your desires, knowing what your fears, your worries, and all of that. And obviously money's part of that. So take a deep breath in and out, and just imagine a bright light connecting to your inner wise one, where your stomach is. And then while continuing to breathe steadily, expand this light throughout your whole body. See yourself radiating like the sun. Look down and notice your light penetrating the ground. Follow that light down below, deep into the cave where the words, "I have been waiting for you," whisper in your ears. And you see an older woman or man. She and he invites you to be seated. And this is your inner oracle, appearing to give the answers that you need. She or he asks only that you're honest and invites you to reveal whatever you want, your dreams, your desires, your fears, your doubts, or your regrets. So just have a little chat with that inner wise one. She only asks you that you're honest, invites you to reveal whatever you want, your dreams, your desires, your fears, your doubts, your regrets. And she assures you that you're safe, that the worst is behind you, that it is time for your abilities to be restored and demonstrated to you in signs and messages in your daily life. And when you feel ready to return, travel back up the light and allow it to swirl around you, forming a shell of protection that will remain with you. Did you get anything? Did anything come up for you? Any fears, worries, doubts, desires? When you read,
You know, I saw like a native Indian, but it wasn't like a United States. It was, you know, was kind of shaman, like from China, or that kind of style that they use. These women,
okay,
was like a middle age, no old, no young, and she was just looking like looking the field, something like that. It was nice field because it was water and very greenish. I was interested that it was not like a kind of Indian that we see here in the United States. It was more like Chinese, all those areas over there. Very interesting. Mm.
And did you bring up some of those when you were honest with yourself? Did you bring up any worries, fears, hesitations, or desires and likes?
Well, I brought to my mind what I'm dealing now, you know, to overcome my process for my graduation, for my program, and looking the way to feeling better. That was what was in my mind at that moment. Yeah. Yeah, but she was, it wasn't like she was looking directly to me. It was just like a sideway, but she was looking to the field, not to looking to me. It's interesting. Yeah, I always feel I have some energy from Chinese, Japanese, because I'm around with those people. I'm very connected with them, and then I can feel my melting energy. And I'm very pleased when I'm around those culture. And I think I have something had to do with shaman. from those area all that time.
Well, think of it as, our soul shards obviously integrating. And as we bring them into our, field, integrate them into our, presence here, there are different ones that keep on coming in different energies. I mean, I've got a lot of Thoth energy coming in at the moment. And what I've just had early on, I've had this a couple of times now, the last couple of weeks, that I just get completely dizzy. Like, oh, then, I snap out of it. So that happens a lot. And I don't know what that is, but that I suppose is all this energy coming in and balancing out, And also when I had my little integration download, it was like, my eyes going like this, and then the right eye going, the left eye going, and then, my arms going, my hands going, and that kind of stuff. So it's quite interesting. But it seems to be Thoth is coming through for some reason, and he's, the Atlantean guy. So I think there's a lot of integration from my walk-in that is coming in at the moment, because it's that kind of whole integration. So it's all good fun. I mean, what's going to come of it? We don't know. And that's not the point. Let's not get hung up about any of that. The question is, does it make you feel good when it happens? Do you feel joyful about it? Does it make
I felt peaceful, very like when you're retrospecting, like thinking about something like that, like as just looking at and like analyzing something. She was very, very peaceful, very step forward, very relaxed. Very
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyone else who had something come in?
I had some, well, I was asking myself, do I have any regrets? And I was saying, no, I don't have any regrets. But then something came up around, hurting people. And, my logical mind says, well, I can't control how people receive my information, right? I can't control how people react and behave when I'm speaking my truth and speaking my heart. And so, I think there's a really, really fine line, when we're communicating with people, to communicate with love and gentleness and awareness, while still, being true to ourselves, but also being honest, and then just letting things fall where they may.
And I want to actually add to that, because I often say that, look what is required in a place of non-judgment. Sometimes a sharp word, or a slight intensity, even an anger that doesn't stick, can facilitate a lot. Yeah. So that's why, and hurting somebody goes hand in hand with the rejection of being rejected. And what has been rejected? Our potency, from a very, very young age onwards, and then, of course, how is it perceived when you are potent? Oh, you're hurting me, it's your fault, and all of that. And then you go into, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. Well, is that really the case? And then, what I always go back into is like, we're all empowerers. It starts with ourselves. We have to empower ourselves. And as soon as we do that, there comes that honoring of everyone's journey. And if they want to feel hurt, that is part of their journey that they have to learn. If they want to live in poverty, it's their journey, it's their path. If they ask you for help, then see what is required. Can you give something? You give it from the heart. It's always this good discussion. We've got so many street people living, homeless people, There's always
We too. Yeah.
Yeah. You give them money, and then they take the money and buy some booze with it. And I said, that's not my problem. Yeah. I give them, if I give them, then whatever they do with it is their choice. If that's what they want to choose to do with the money that I've given them, then it's not for me to tell them what they have to do. Because if you have a problem with that, well, then give rather give them a sandwich or a coffee or, anything like that. So, but that requires that level of non-judgment and that honoring of other people's choices, and I've just like Tanya said early on, when I first became a therapist officially, it was like, oh, I can help, I can help, I can help, I can help. That's not how it works. And it came from the heart. I thought, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. Let's talk about this and everything. And everyone was like, fuck off. Total wall up, right? Total rejection. Like I've been rejected a lot in my life because of the intensity that I am. Of course, you make yourself wrong, right? Until you stop, because you realize actually, oh, I'm just intense. Yeah. And
yeah, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? Here's the tools if you want to use them.
Yeah, it takes time. And then, obviously with this new understanding of what this whole self-realization is all about, it's very easy now for me to say, okay, well, that's fine. It's like, if people don't ask me a question, that's why I had to give up my teacher. And sometimes I get still hung up on that, but to give up the teacher, because the teacher only came through, the archetype of the teacher came through because I had to get over my rejection issues. I had to come through as, my voice be heard and all of that. Now I don't need to be the teacher anymore. I can bring it out when it is required, when we're obviously having we're all teachers. No point for me to sit here and say absolutely nothing. But I am still practicing that, going into a place and not saying anything unless somebody asks a question. And this is why in the beginning of I remember meeting a monk once, I was still in the oil industry, and he just came in and didn't say a word. He was totally calm. And I'm like, oh my God, I love you. I want to be like that. And I'm nowhere near monk-like yet. I'm not sure I need to be there either, but that need to be the teacher anymore and having say, no. But this is also the thing, is what we're all going through at the moment, because that's that out-creation business and the letting go of identity, I mean, I went through this when I got out of the oil business, my identity had to dissolve and I had to become a therapist, and then that dissolved and then became the teacher, and that now is dissolving. So what's left? I have no idea. It's just me. Girls, it's just me. Whatever comes out, I don't know. We'll have to see. And that we're all working on at the moment, but it's nice that everyone is going through this. Well, not everyone, but the ones we know. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
I like your intensity because I'm trying to pull out of myself more of my intensity. When I was a kid, we had moved from Indiana to Pennsylvania, and they put me in special ed for a couple weeks because I wouldn't say anything. And they thought that I had some sort of developmental problem, which I just didn't have anything to say. I'm not much of a talker. So I would totally be the monk in the room just watching everything take place, but I'm really trying to make myself come out more. So your intensity helps me mirror and bring out mine. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Good. And I love your monk.
Right.
The monkey monk. But
well,
no, it's getting to a stage now where, I am actually not having much to say anymore, unless somebody really asks a question. It's almost like there's a button that gets pushed on. Yeah. Push on my button. Then it all comes out. But if nobody pushes the button, then okay. Tanya, sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say, I'm really grateful for all y'all, able to hold space, holding space for each other, because in the energies that are happening, right, we're learning to be more monk-like, right? We're learning to really be in control of our own sovereignty, but also just, the reflections, in the way that that we're all evolving. It's really exciting, I think, and fun. And I love, hearing all of your stories and, seeing where everyone is and, what's going on. I think, for me, when, when I talk, I feel like I say the same things all over and over again. Like, oh, it's the law of the portal of the heart, the toroidal field and, anchoring into your blueprint and being kind and gentle to yourself. I feel like when I work with people, I say the same things over and over and over again,
Well,
right?
because-
Helping them with tools.
Because that's what they need to hear.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
they need to hear.
So
And
it's really refreshing. It's really refreshing to have conversations with you because you all know
Mm.
the tools, right? And I don't need to,
Mm.
heal or feel like I need to do anything. I can just be
Exactly.
here in this space. And I
The-
really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And there's this,
And
yeah, go ahead.
well, I'm just trying to, spend time with people in my life who are like that, who I can just be, totally be myself and say what I say and do what I do. And if I'm going to goof around, I can goof around or, whatever. It doesn't matter because the love is there.
And that needs to be practiced. And this is what we've been doing, especially over the last couple of sessions, remember? Because we're not even doing much of a title or topic or anything. We're just going to go in and see what arises. That goes very much with the collapse of time, right? With being in the moment. Because this is what, as far as I'm concerned, this is what is required now. This goes hand in hand with losing your identity. This goes hand in hand with being not identified. This goes hand in hand with working with other species, because you've got to be on your toes like this. You've got to be able to work it in the moment. Crystallized body, decrystallize, this, up, down, back, forth, and all of that. This is how when the few yoga sessions that I'm still doing, absolutely no prep. Yeah. I'm going to stop that very quickly. But now it's just like, and they get better and better and better because the shit that comes up is like, oh, I've done that, because this is that, I would say, getting out of that chemical living into the illuminated, illuminal thinking, where we are actually practicing to trust ourselves enough to tap into the information at will, at need, at need. Is this a word? I don't know. I don't chase, I attract. Can you see this? It was on Facebook. Anyway, it just says, I don't chase, I attract. Allow the energy frequency to attract people to me. And all I need to do, we need to do, you're probably doing it, I need to do more, get myself out there, that I see what impact I'm having now at people. Because, with all this lockdown and, it's quite easy. I'm super happy on my own, but just getting out, there's a Monday, being with these 15 people was very interesting for me. How people react to my signature, when I say something or don't say anything. That's the other practice. Tanya, sorry.
Can
I forgot what I was going
something?
to say.
Sorry.
May I speak now?
Yes, you may.
I've been waiting like 5 minutes to tell Tanya, that Tanya, I perceive a pink heart stamped on your forehead.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I'm warm from my walk.
I can see it.
You see it?
That's the heart in my brain right there. It's showing up today.
You just posted the pink quartz, the rose quartz heart yesterday or today.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect alignment.
Oh, I love
You're talking
that.
about getting out there more and sharing your frequency. I've been on the road every week here lately for work, and I was thinking about that yesterday, about a trail of light codes, right? All these places that I'm going and places that I wouldn't normally even interface with others in that location. And so what kind of impact having?
I saw you went to Atlanta. My husband's been working in Atlanta. for the last, well, Atlanta and North Carolina for the last 10 days. I'm like, oh, you're riding the same road that Billy is. So yeah.
And Jen, you're onto something. Because what did we say earlier on? We said we are in service to the planet, to the universe, to each other, yes. But we've been in service to each other for a long time now, right? So we gotta look, let's look beyond that. And what you're doing already is being in service to the planet by taking your signature to all these different places, right? That's you know, and this is why Pluto and all this travel is coming up now for people, because I see this so many times. It's the land that is calling the people in, very often back to the origins. And we think, oh, it's a family, yeah, that too. But it's the land, because consider yourself as a ascending master with a high level of self-mastery, a high level of sovereignty, and a high level of self-healing. And I think we can all just that, yeah? Now the land is reaching out. And how many of those trips are actually the land calling you forth? Yes, of course you can sit there and, you know, do the sacred sites and then go there in your head and, you know, do your little visualizations and everything, but it's different. It's different. There are the nuances when you're there. And also the thing is, it's the joy and the fun when you're actually there, right? So yeah, I think this, I mean, we're getting to a stage where words are no longer required, to be honest.
Martina, you know, that's interesting that you mentioned the word that we had to how you said that we had to get off our identity. How do you say it?
Let go of your identity. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, interesting, because I was listening one of the Castañeda book, 3 to Itlan, I think Itlan in Mexico. I use sometimes when I feel my energy low, I listen some of those audio book from Carlos Castañeda and Don Juan. And one of his advice to Carlos in that book was like, you have to let go your identity to be able to detach yourself from other people's thoughts. Because the way how I saw is because when we had identity, my reflection was, I expected somebody to me so way, because I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, I'm a musician, whatever. And it was interesting. I just laughed when you mentioned that now, because I was just listening that last night because I was feeling like down with this allergy. I said, I gotta get those kind of energy, bring me back, like helping me to ground. And that's one of the first advice that he gave, and it was that let out your identity. You had to be nobody, nothing, and then at the same time you are the everything. It was like very interesting how the energy is,
Exactly.
Interesting. I will listen that you mentioned today.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. In order to be everything and tap into that one thing and that one mind and one heart and all of that, we need to let go of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the healing journey as well, because the healing journey is what? Letting go of the programming, letting go of the conditioning, letting go of the values, letting go of all of that. Because only when you're completely and utterly not attached to anything, that can be completely open in the moment to do, to be, to have whatever it takes, whatever is required in the moment.
Yes, very, very nice.
And lots of people, I think, are struggling with that at the moment, because everything is just, and you know, people who don't think about that, they probably lose their jobs, they lose their partners, they lose whatever, you know, because it's a forcing, the energy is coming in, forcing us to wake up, right? So what I would like to do, because, you know, there are words obviously, but at least, you know, Sean's YouTube, I watched it and I took some notes and I made a little meditation out of it. So I think if you guys happy with that, you know, because somebody said, I think Amy said she likes her meditations, but that really made me think, because this is what's happening. The light's coming in, right? So what are we going to do with it? How can we just guide it through, be the conduit, you know, without attachments. So if you want, I'm going to talk you through this now. Would you like that?
Great. I love it.
Okay, thank you.
Good. And start breathing, girls, with a bit more awareness. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Come to your still point and breathe. Take a moment of intention and focus. Focus some light on your light. Allow the light to emit your light body of light. And lighten up all the light around you. You are a transmitter of light and you are a receiver of light. Light is all within and all around you in the morphogenic seas of time-space consciousness. Well beyond into the wide oceans of awareness. Its power is to seed and nurture life and create experiences. Light adapts, it transforms, it transmutes and changes the cells and behaviors of your body. Changes the cells and behaviors of your mind, your being, as well as the ones that are there to share an experience with you. Take a breath now. An inhalation, breathe in the light. Then exhale your light contribution. It's truly that simple. Be aware of the room that you're in, the people you're sharing your bubble of reality with. Take a moment of gratitude and appreciation for the mutual sharing of light. Now move your attention to your physical bodies. With your awareness fully grounded into this body, time, and space, imagine a bright white light entering through the crown of your head, lighting up the synapses in your brain, sending signals of illumination all the way down and throughout your body. As the light floods in, moves down and settles in the center of your body, around the solar plexus. Green, blue, yellow. Light impulses continue to shoot out towards the head, and the hands and the feet. Imagine your blood and lymphatic system as streams, rivers, lakes of light, painted and flowing in the colors of the rainbow. Now take all that energy that you're still using to judge your embodied existence as wrong and allow the influx of light to alchemize those outdated beliefs into more light, leaving no trace of judgment and control behind. With that, just watch and observe the electricity of all the lies that you used to deliver at your body fizzle out like a New Year's sparkler in celebration of the new you. We're now going to address the mitochondria in your cells of the body that is responsible for generating the power for growth, transformation, and creation. You're now to clear those potent cell batteries from all obstructions, destructions, and seductions in order to stop limiting, but charging and increasing the flow of light. You are a conduit of light. Now take your focus to the telomeres in your cells. Telomeres are DNA protein structures that form protective caps at the end of the chromosomes, impacting on your lifespan and health. Use your imagination to reinstate the genetic integrity in all of your cells and lengthen the telomeres to slow down the aging process. Let go of all the false programming and implanting of the birth, death, and aging process. With your attention on the cell's capacity to compulsively replicate and restore, please acknowledge and use the influx of the new broadband light frequency to facilitate agelessness and health of the vehicle you have chosen to carry you through this journey to self-realization. Now give permission to the neurons in your cells to use their electrical wire and fiber optic cables to omnidirectionally send waves of light photons connecting within the network of cells. Take a moment to check all those cables and wires for loose connections to avoid short circuits. Is the cabling in your cells outdated and old? Any wears or tears? Does it need rewiring? Do you need to replace damaged insulation? Use your power of imagination to mend and heal those neuron cables. Allow the light to flood your body. Breathe. Be still. Be silent and observe as your brain emits photonic light and your radiance illuminates your surroundings. Allow the light from within to meet the sparks on the outside. Together you move into a harmonious dance of simultaneous giving and receiving, and the world will never be the same again. You are the receiver of light. You are the transmitter of light. Follow those streams of light and watch them produce electrical currents shooting out in all directions. Can you see how light communicates? How it interacts and cooperates with all the holograms of your physical makeup and beyond. You are the phenomena of total possibility stored in your DNA. Breathe in that energy. The majority of your body is water. Perceive that water that holds the light frequency of all your memories. Be and receive that water that can restore and rebuild all life raw materials that are needed for life on Earth and other planets. Breathe, keep breathing. On the inhalation, take in light. On the exhalation, emit light. Trust your own experience without explanation and hesitation, without having to validate it. by yourself or others. There's no need to understand the mystical. Just allow the magic to unfold. Do not waste your light to forcefully remember. Let's focus on your DNA. Every cell contains many strands of it. Let's unravel them. Stretch them out, line them up. Let's use them as transmitters and receivers, like antennas connecting to all planets, timelines, dimensions, galaxies, and universes. Use your DNA to reconnect with the entirety of the information stored in all material forms and bodies, Akashic records, the planet Earth, and beyond. Your body is a lightning rod. Firmly grounded on this planet, perceive, know, be, and receive yourself as a beacon of light, connecting all worlds, living and breathing on multidimensional planes of existence. There's nowhere to go, nothing more to be. You are already it. You are light. You came from light to emit and receive light. You go back to light. And so it is. Ahoy. Then allow yourselves to solidify back into being and join the Zoom.
Thanks, Martina. That's really beautiful.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I watched that video as well and also listened to the, Andrew and Monty comedy show on Friday. And there was a lady who was talking about lightning therapy.
All right.
That the woman, I can't remember the person's name, but this woman who does lightning therapy had been struck by lightning and then was able to, channel electricity. Right. And I thought, well, gosh, I do that.
Yes, exactly.
And so I just never called it that, so I've been like, and then watching that video that Sean posted, been really more mindful and aware of the way the energy of lightning, right, is coming through with the energy work that I do and just in my own visualizations. So that was a really nice catalyst to bring all of those pieces and parts together.
Yeah, thank you. And also, with all this light that's coming through, it's nice to somehow, of course, we don't control anything or need to direct it or something, but we know that we can revert our aging process. We are supposed to be getting much older. So apart from just letting go of all the limitations, the limiting beliefs about aging and health and everything, with this light that is coming in, we can reverse everything. And it's just really nice. When I say that, it's not that we want to force an outcome or anything, but it's just like, oh yeah, okay, I haven't thought about that. And then what limiting beliefs do I still carry, that I have to age, that I have to look like this, that I have to be unhealthy, that my disease has to be medicated and cannot change. You can literally wake up and be healed with all the light that's coming in. I mean, it's almost like having a near-death experience, right? In a way it is. Or think about all these soul shards that are coming in, and it's something to just broaden our horizons, because nobody has had an experience with that before. It has never happened that the planet has gone through that transition. It has never happened that we are going through this transition. So we have to keep reminding ourselves, what are the possibilities, without getting attached to the outcome. And especially, you know, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, what a better way of spending our time, instead of going on about the old shit, right? Or what's going on the planet. Well, we've all created it in the first place. None of us, we've all been part of this domination and control. There's no point to go on about it now. Question is, what else is possible? What are we going to do with this? How do we want to create something different? What is it? What can we do in terms of no judgment there, yeah? Just play. What experiences can we create that show us that magic that is available to us? Because nobody taught us that, right? And it's okay. We can teach ourselves. We can open ourselves up to the opportunities to see it. And yes, there are lots of people out there who are not there, who don't want to hear about it, and that's fine. No worries. We honor their choices. We honor their journeys. But maybe we have a different journey. And maybe tomorrow is a different day and we think about it differently. But today, right now, this is what we think, or I think.
I love it. So good. Yeah.
And you know what? Just pausing and enjoying the space and not feeling uncomfortable with the pause. This is where the breath comes in. And there will be shows again where I'll be swearing and this and that, but today I'm not, because it's not required. There is no intensity. I'm not losing you guys. Yeah. I often swear when I start losing people. They just wander off in their heads, and then I throw a little swear word in and oops, okay, I'm here. I'm hearing it. But to dispel the energy is not necessary. We're all bathing in it. It's nice, isn't it? So that's what I had in mind, because that's what I did yesterday. And interestingly enough, that I think helped me trigger that download. Because I got out today, I thought, let me do this again, right? Oh, this was so cool. Let me do it again later. Fuck all happening. Nope. You got enough yesterday, but when you're one of those energy junkies, I want more. Process that. And then let it go again. Then we give you more. I'm like, okay. That kind of thing,
Integrate. Time to integrate now.
Time to integrate, time to ground, time to just be. I got my crocheting out again. That really helps me to, do something with my fingers.
Like a spider weaving magic.
Yes, magical little blankets, whatever they are. So that's the beacon and conduit of light meditation. So many thanks to Sean to send that out, to inspire me to do this. And this is a really nice way of for me anyway, of working. We look at what's happening, mitochondria, telomeres, it's all like call it science, biology or something. It doesn't matter, because we are bringing and we're working embodied spirituality. So we can work it both ways, right? So take mundane bits and pieces in order, make a meditation or a revocation, invocation, whatever out of it. And even if you don't have to ever hear it again, it doesn't matter. Keep it somewhere. It will come back at some stage that you can use it.
Beautiful.
If you're so inclined to write. Sorry, Tanya.
Oh, I just said beautiful, really, really beautiful. And, you know, this is what life is about, right? Taking those little mundane moments that all of a sudden you get the spark of inspiration, and using that energy to, you know, weave into a meditation or an invocation or revocation or intention, you know, intentions and prayers. I over the last few days with the eclipse, my husband's been out of town working, so I've been really in my own energy, which has been great. I've been doing a lot of, you know, house cleaning and dusting and you know, just touching things, touching the walls, cleaning them. And I painted my bedroom. And you know, just really every time I change my sheets, you know, I say prayers to the four corners of my bed, to my room, to my dreamtime space. And so it was a really wonderful ritual. And, you know, I kind of liken painting it, you know, painting a room to driving. You know, you think it's a good idea at the time, but then it just keeps going and going and going. I think, Jen, with all the driving you've been doing, you know what I'm talking about. But so, you know, with each like paint stroke of the brush, you know, I was saying prayers and setting intentions, you know, about what I want in my bedroom, the energy I want in my bedroom. And I set up a directional grid with some beautiful Andara stones in the bedroom. And I had a picture that I had gotten of a big tree, sort of a black and white picture of a tree in the mist. And I've been, you know, just like thinking about that energy of the tree and the connection that the tree has, right? The roots that go deep, deep into the earth. And, you know, the branches that reach out into the sky. And, you know, even the way that lightning hits a tree and it, you know, grounds the lightning. And so I, you know, put together this picture, and I had ordered some gold leaf that I was able to draw on, you know, some of the trees and really create that energy of light, you know, coming down behind my bed. So I'm calling it the dreaming tree, because that's how we dream, right? With the trees and all the beings of earth and the ancestors. And so now it's behind my bed and my room is done, and it feels great. It feels great. Really, you know, fresh energy. It's a nice little home project for me.
Pure alchemy.
Yeah.
Pure alchemy. That's the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Mhm.
That's priceless. And that's going to bring in stuff that you can't even fathom at this stage. In your dream time, through everything, through that honoring, that, you know, that is just priceless. Did I tell you guys, you know, working with Thoth a little bit, you know, and I found this really nice, it's a buckle or something, you know, it's actually not a pendant, but anyway, years ago I found it at a market, and it's silver and it's Thoth. I didn't even know who he was at the beginning, and I found so many ibises, you know, and all of that. And so I got really excited talking to Thoth, and I went for a walk. No, I didn't tell you that, okay? I think it must have happened. So I went for a walk in the park and took my shoes off, and it was just purely flat. I'm talking to Thoth, you know. Next thing, I'm slipping right onto my right ass, right side. I'm like, what the hell? Well, what was that all about, Thoth? And he said, well, You came into this park. Did you actually honor the trees for being here? Did you say hello? You're just like blah, 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 blah. To me, obviously not in my body. That's what he said. This is the time to be present. I thought, okay, all right, fair enough. No more conversations. Went on 5 minutes later, you know, I'm thinking, oh, I'm just like a dog with a bone, you know, it's like always have to have this bone dangling in front of me. I mean, I'm not kidding, literally. A party of people goes by with a dog. Dog's got not a bone, but a stick in his mouth, runs up to me, stops and sticks his stick in my foot, right foot. I was bleeding because he was so fast. It's almost like he didn't throw it in front, it was just sticking it in and saying, here's your fucking bone. Now you don't need it anymore, do you? And I'm like, interesting. They came and apologized, and I just, you know, it was okay. Right side again. I thought quite interesting. Right side of the body, female energy, right? Because all this energy is supposedly, you know, bringing up that alignment, male, female. And then my integration on Tuesday with the eyes was, you know, one side, this side, one side, this side. And then, you know, having 4 women in the house, you know, we all have started having all sorts of interesting experiences. The side here, painful as hell. I thought, what is going on? Just one side, again, all the way down. Very, very interesting. So this is my body talking to me, you know, always my body talking to me. I woke up, my right eye completely swollen, everything on the right side of the body, you know, very interesting. So it was all that alignment that is going on, you know, back and forth. But again, that quite, what I'm saying is the ordinary. You wouldn't normally say, oh, what the fuck's wrong with me? I'm sliding, I'm slipping. No, look for the message. What just happened? Why did that just happen? Oh, I'm not present. Thank you very much. Why does this dog just ram into my foot, this stick? Oh, thank you. Because I was going into sort of judge. It was a judgment in a way, saying like, oh, I always need the bone dangling in front of me. Do I really know? Dog said, no, you don't. Or now you have it right in your foot. Anyway, so that kind of thing. Whatever happens, whatever we do, and don't get hung up. It doesn't have to be with other people. Like Danya says, she did all of that by herself, you know. My walks, I talk to the trees, you know, and it's all that. A reminder to be present and don't fall for like, oh, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with my body because I'm having this pain. You know, people said, oh, have you checked for lumps? And I said, no, just be cool. It'll go. It's like, and the other thing, girls, look out for that. So I had another, because we were all girls, it was very much like sort of I thought there was something, you know, and all the girls that were here and the ones I've met as well did choose not to have children other than me and Emma. Yeah. And Emma just chose us. I mean, I didn't really choose her, to be honest. She's just like, well, obviously I did, but you know what I mean? So, but all those ladies, all different age groups, had not chosen to have children. And I thought, interesting. And then I had this really distinct pain here, and it's almost like milk shooting in, that kind of thing. It's like, what is going on here? And then I got reminded that think what we women do on other dimensions. Anyone who has not chosen to have children, how many bloody children have you got? Have you given birth to in other dimensions, timelines, galaxies and universes, forced or not? Yeah. So that came into my, because as we're talking about female rising and all of that, just remind yourself of that when you go through weird stuff at the moment. Yeah. Because that was very much in the energy. I'm sitting here with 4 at some stage, 4 women, and none of them have children. What is going on? And then, okay. Doesn't mean that they don't have children, just not in this reality. Good.
I think working, also as a healer and a teacher or a healing practitioner, healing activator, I like to call myself, is I feel like almost every person who's coming to me is almost like one of my children in a way.
Okay.
With the mentoring and helping them wake up to their power and their path and their magic.
The nurturing aspect, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Lana.
That's an interesting thought there, Tanya, because as you were saying that, I was thinking even in whatever lifetime we were living, whether we were male or female, we must have had kids. And to imagine how many kids we probably would have had in the past or even in the future. So there might be thousands upon thousands of children we give birth to as a female or father children. I never really thought about that before, because that's way too much to think about, how many kids we probably have running around all over the universe.
Not even just human, right? It can be any kind of offspring.
Yeah, we could have been a different species in another lifetime, and we have offsprings that probably look like a fish or something like that.
Well,
so that's
think-
interesting.
Think of your dreams. Have you not had dreams where you had sex with other beings?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. Or beings that are, well, it doesn't have to be a reptile or anything, but it could just be people. Has anyone had dreams like that? People you know, don't know, still here, not here. Even if they're still here. Yeah.
Maybe they happen, but I can't remember them by the
Yeah.
time I wake up,
I have had some dream like that, but I don't remember it, just like a flash or memory, not really.
And if it is a friend of your husband or your partner or something, then you probably don't want to remember, because it's a bit awkward, isn't it? Having had sex with a version of him in dream time. Yeah.
Well, who would you want to tell when you wake up?
I
Such
know.
a dream.
And now we have it recorded.
That's even worse.
Look out for it.
Just block those dreams out right away before you can wake up.
What was that? I had a dream with Jason Momoa last night.
Aquaman, huh?
No, but it was something totally non-sexual. He told me something that I can't remember what that was. Yeah, I think I saw on Facebook, he was back in London or something, and that triggered that, but it was just a conversation, something. Shame. Anyway. So yeah, the other thing, which is a good reminder now for all of us, Dreamtime awakening. Yeah. So don't get too involved in what's going on here. It's a Dreamtime awakening. So let's back working with the dreams, dream intention, journaling, writing things down. And it's not necessarily now that you have to go to bed for that. It's like, even if you have a little nap or just sit back, and just go into a little space, there's good stuff coming in at the moment. And grab the energy. If you don't get the details of the symbolism or anything, just grab the energy. What's that energy? Right? Just the energy down. And
I think too, if you're going to be planting a garden, right? One of the things that AB has talked about before is dreaming with the seeds, right? Making a pouch and putting it around your neck and sleeping with the seeds that you're going to plant. And then as those plants grow, they become part of your dream time and work with you in dream time. I love
Yeah, I
that.
know he said that, but when I was planting my seeds yesterday, I just kind of rubbed them in my hand, several times in the middle of my palm there. And I say a quick prayer and then I put them in the ground. I would hope that, that's adding my energy, frequency, and thoughts into the seeds before I put them in the ground.
I read something too that you can suck on them and it takes your DNA and winds it with the seed. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do that with the beans.
Well, yeah. Cross species. Tanya Corona beans.
Tanya beans.
I got yellow beans with long hair, with hearts on their beans inside. Oh, there's a
So there you can see it better. There we go. Little lava heart.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, when I think about it now, my mom, when she's a master of making something out of nothing. She would never work with a recipe. She doesn't do recipes. She just looks in the fridge. Okay, this, throw it together, and that. And this is what we can do now as well. Just see what comes in. Where are the inspirations? A word, somebody said this, a color from here, this, and then put it together. Make a soup, make something out of it. Well, that's the alchemy, right? Philosopher stones. Okay, so we need to start making philosopher stones. Because what is a philosopher's stone? It's just a symbolism of a philosophy, of an energy. So we've got to start making philosopher stones. And we can put in whatever we want. And then we can use those philosopher stones. We can, plant, because that's apparently what I did. We can put them in the future. So when we go into the future, wherever we're going, be it now another lifetime here on Earth or doing something else, there could be like little signposts reminding us, unless we can remember everything already anyway. I doubt that, but philosopher's stones.
Trailblazers.
Huh?
The philosopher putting them on your path to redirect you back to where you meant to go, like trailblazers, marking the way. Yeah, like that.
And even for this lifetime, So yeah.
Listen, I have to go. It was good talking to you guys and being here, but I have errands to run, so I need to.
Okay, Lana. Well, thanks for taking time and being. Huh?
Thank you.
Bye,
You guys,
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, Lana. See you next week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But Martina, that was mentioned that you mentioned about that we are not supposed to be, getting old like before, because it's the energy. And I just turned 60 last April, and
It's already an example of it. Are you joking? Wow.
No, it's 60 April, and some of my friends asked me if I take any medication.
Yes, like
Because the program is like after when you be in the 50, you have to start taking like a bunch of medication for blood pressure, for sugar, or whatever. And it's interesting because the guy from many of one, Peter Orson, he was head of the department, the NTI, in the Department of Technology in Massachusetts, and he develops a website for many of one is where he has all the detail about the it's having 4 super cycle, and every super cycle like a trillion or thousand of cycle of years. And then he promoted that we had to detach ourselves, not using the mind, and then to be able to overcome death and then transform our body, because we, together with my mind, we are magnificent. We can step in the quantum field and return to quantum. What he called the quantum field is go back to quantum for where we came from, without go through the process of the death of the physical body. And supposedly our body had to be regenerated itself, our organs and regenerated. I don't know how long we can go through that one, but however, he promoted that we are not supposed to be aging. Our body is supposed to be regenerated.
Well, the body's already regenerating itself. Cells in I don't know, it takes the liver, I can't remember now, a couple of weeks to regenerate. Every organ has a different span of regeneration, apparently, with the cell being,
Yeah.
The problem is, if the genetic information, the memory is programmed, that limited within the cells, then the cell will replicate with the same memory again, so that's why it is so important to clear out cells,
that's interesting that you mentioned, because I was telling to my father, I think I don't know, I mentioned my uncle, because my father is 94 years old. He doesn't take any medication. However, my uncle is 75. He had diabetes, he had blood pressure and all this stuff. I said, it's a program that we are accepting, because it's supposedly, like Andrew said, that the blood is changed. We change our blood every 56 days, I think, or 56 days or 66 days. I don't remember. However, if our blood is changed every specific cycle, then why the DNA create again the same thing about blood pressure and sugar? It's because the program in the DNA, like Andrew mentioned, the DNA coming program say, okay, RDN, I want you to produce the new bloods, but I want you bring the program for the sugar, diabetes, and the blood pressure. Because if I had different blood in my body, why I have to carry the same disease? It's because it's the program that the program that has to produce what is already there, right? It's very interesting. And my father was, wow. My father was like, because my father is completely a religion. For him, the only thing I see is the Bible. And when I mentioned that to him, it was like he can get interesting about it. So, I think about myself. If it had a different blood every certain time, why the blood bring the same disease? You're not supposed to be don't have the disease because it's a different blood. And it was kind of interesting that you mentioned that now.
Well, this is also obviously, as we know that the DNA, is the majority of it is memory, 80-20 or whatever.
Yeah, a program. Remember, you have to the diabetes. Like remember, I had diabetes. You have to bring that in again. Something like that. That's the way I kind of figure out myself now. I said, oh my God, this is a program. Is it the DNA just program is?
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course, now, everything that we have learned, we got to already think of the next level now, because with all the lights coming in now, all of that has changed. There won't be 80%, right? Because it's light. Now, this is why we have to start thinking and accessing memories differently now, because we're letting them go. So this is why we're coming from chemical thinking, getting out of chemical thinking, going into superluminal thinking, where actually the realization, the thought is actually not stored, programmed inside of ourselves, but we have an access through the brain into the process of the brain is just accessing that, thinking. And that's why it's so important to let it go. Comes in, do whatever you want with it, go. But that requires trust, because one of the things is us identity. I'm a teacher, I'm this, I know things, I'm a facts and figures person, I have to hold on to it. Now that's blocking up everything, the organs, the blood, the limbs. So that all needs to go. trust,
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so important too to have like the open energy field. So when you do have things you need to ground and let go of, it can flow through and anchor into earth, right? When you have a program in the DNA code that is, abandonment or wounded child or unworthiness of being loved, then the root chakra can close down. And when that root chakra is closed down, then you're not releasing the energy, right, into the Akashic record.
Exactly. And you see,
Yes.
back to what we said early on, we are of service to the earth because that is energy. The earth doesn't give a shit, if this is negative, anger, this or that, because energy is energy. It takes the energy. That's why we have to release it in service to the earth, right? The more we release it, the less it can be harvested and sold on the bloody black market.
And you release it to earth and it works like compost for her. She transmutes the energy and makes it usable energy for her fuel.
Exactamundo. And then of course you're just talking about aging. I think there was I don't know, 300-400 years one can be beings. We used to be before all that indoctrination came in. But just think of our celebrating our birthday. And I have no problem celebrating birth, but that in itself, oh, how old are you now? That's all reinforcing that thing of aging. This is why I stopped celebrating my birthday. In the beginning, I had to learn to celebrate it because I had an issue. I got triggered. I don't need anyone to tell. Once I overcame that, it's like, what's the point? Yeah. And certainly don't fall into that, because that is all subliminal. Is that subliminal? Is that a word? Subliminal conditioning. Just like what you said, Herminia. It's like, okay, you turn 50 and then you have issues with blood pressure and hormones and menopause for women and all that sort of crap,
Yes. It's a program.
Nobody says it's not happening, but it's a question of how much do you buy into it as well.
That helped me a lot to become more aware to no judgment, culture, belief in system, and how every culture has some belief and behave. Because I said, oh my God, we are just a bunch of human beings walking in this body with a CD program there. Like, for example, if you're Chinese, you behave so way. If you are Japanese, you behave so way. It's just a program that comes through from the mother womb and the surrounding and the environments. You have been just programmed to behave such a way because that was you learn. It's a copy. It's a CD copy from the mother and the father and the family and the environments. And that's helped me a lot to shift my perception about culture and tradition and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because some people, oh, why do you eat that? It's a program. It's a CD. That was my mother was, and I don't eat anything of I used to eat when I was growing up. I completely changed my diet. And then, I don't eat any of that stuff. However, when I see somebody eat it, I don't judge it because I know it's a program.
And
That's
it's
the way I
not
see it.
going to hurt you if you eat it now or anything, because you come in with a completely different level of awareness. And this non-judgment business is key to what we're doing here. Yeah, we can't. As soon as we get triggered, then we know there is still something going on, or it's not ours. And this is also what I said earlier on. I think this consciousness of the environment, of the people, of the culture, of the country, and all of that. And I think this is also why some people are being drawn to go back to their homeland where they started off, or being drawn to drive onto or go to certain countries, places, because their signature frequency is now required to start dissolving all of that bullshit. And that doesn't mean you have to go there and pray, over every single, path that you walk. No, you're supposed to be having fun there, eat the food, enjoy it, that kind of thing,
Drink the water.
Drink the water, yeah. Drink the wine as well. The tequila, yes.
And the tequila.
Have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, girls. For us who don't do words anymore, we didn't do badly, hey? 2 hours.
Thank you all
It's
for holding
amazing.
space
That time.
and being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
And see you guys.
Bye.
next week. Bye.
Okay, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.